Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing Sister Wives. That's what we're going to be doing. So, of course, this is a bonus. We're just going to go right into the episode. So we're kind of talking about a lot of babies in this episode. I'm not going to be going through every little thing, but the main focus for me was this conversation between Robyn and Kody. So we do find out that they have separate Thanksgivings, and Mary was invited to Kody and Robyn's, but she didn't want to fucking go. She's like, no, fuck this, I'm not going to go. Why would I go? She's like, she basically made a decision when she had a final official breakup conversation that she wasn't going to go. She was in Flagstaff, though she was there. She did have plans in California for Thanksgiving, but it fell through. So yeah, she stays back at home in Flagstaff. She doesn't see herself as a member of the family. So, like, why would she want to be a third wheel? And I agree. Why would you want to be a third wheel? I wouldn't want to be a third wheel. Robyn needs to stop. She really, really does. Anyway, Robyn and Kody are talking about him reaching out to his kids. And she says that, they do need to do more, but you do too. Like, you need to do more to be there. And he says, the kids have rejected me. They would talk to him at the wedding. The wedding that he said he didn't even want to go to, which was also for his freaking kid. Your child invited you to the wedding. That's a step in the right damn direction, that at least one of your kids, it's two of your kids, actually want to be in your life. That's a start. You know what I mean? You have a lot of kids, and I'm talking the kids that are not Robyn's. You got two of them, that are at least two, that want you in their life. So why don't you work towards fixing the others? It's all, and at a wedding is not the place to try and do it. But anyway, they rejected me. They feel rejected too. It's not just about you. But he says that, with Maddie, she didn't even know she was pregnant. And it was a bit of a shock for him to know. Apparently, I did read this, that she'd posted on Instagram 3 months before the wedding that she was pregnant. So you're not even checking their socials to see whether or not. Now, maybe he's blocked. That is a possibility. We don't know. Maybe he is blocked. Maybe he isn't on any of their social medias. That's very possible. But you're also trying to tell me that Robyn didn't know? I feel like Robyn's the kind of person who would be aware of these things. You're trying to tell me that even Robyn didn't know that Maddie was pregnant? Come on. You either really are so unaware of your child's lives and what's going on in them, or you're lying. One or the other. To get a sympathy vote from us. No sympathy. And also, you're not in her life. You're not even trying to be in her life and be in her kids' lives. Why in the world would you think Maddie would tell you anything? Anyway, he says, I can't see the kids all the time. Like, I don't live there. We live in different coasts, and it's not expected that a grandpa can always be there anyways. How about calling them? How about doing a video chat with them? You may not necessarily be able to be physically there with your grandkids all the time. Janelle is also not physically there, I'm sure, with her grandkids all the time, but I'm sure she calls them. I'm sure she video chats with them. I'm sure she calls Maddie periodically, at least, to check on her, check on the kids. That's what you do. That's what a parent does. And that's what you're not doing. It would make a world of difference if you were to do that from day one, and you didn't. Anyway, so Maddie apparently called Janelle and told her that Dad said he didn't love her anymore. Now, he denies that. And I actually am with him on that. He said, I never said I didn't love Janelle. Quite the contrary. He's been trying to work on that marriage and try to make that marriage last. He never said he didn't love her. Now, if I'm incorrect and I'm remembering this differently, please tell me. But I don't remember or recall him saying he didn't love Janelle. What he did say is that group wise, I didn't love their mothers, is what he did say, which does group Janelle in that. But, I think he's referring to Mary. I don't even think he's referring to Christine, but I'm gonna say something too in a little bit that I wanna bring up here to defend Mary a little bit. Um, but he may not have said that, and I don't think he did. So Maddie, here's what I'm gonna say. Maddie shouldn't be getting involved in things like this. Her parents are going through a separation, divorce, whichever terminology they want to use. She shouldn't be getting involved. And I don't understand why she is. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. I am kind of with him when he kind of says at one point that if he talks to someone, or maybe particular Maddie in this case, that's when the gossip train happens. And Maddie should not be doing that. She shouldn't be doing that. I'm sorry. I don't think any of the kids should be getting involved in the separation between their parents. I just don't. It's not easy. It's sticky. We're talking about adults here, or people in their late teens. I understand that, but you should not be getting involved. You just shouldn't. And they, as the parents, in this case, the mothers, because they're the ones that seem to be in the lives of their kids more so than Kody, should be insisting that they stay out of it. So he said that I will love the kids who will allow me to do it. Well, you should love your kids either way, whether they allow you to or not. But he says that this is sensitive to Robyn, or sorry, he didn't say this. This is sensitive to Robyn because she kind of knows how this feels. She says that her biological father was never around. He moved away with a different wife when her mom and him broke up, and she reached out to him, and he would kind of make excuses as to why, very similar to what Kody is doing, um, you know, and he says that he's not abandoning his kids. Kody says they betrayed me. You betrayed them first. Now I know this isn't a tit for tat type situation, but you betrayed the family, you betrayed the kids, you betrayed their mothers, you betrayed them too. It's not just about you. But of course, in Kody's world, he lives in, this is Kody's world and they just live in it. So it's ridiculous. Um, they said they leave me out of their lives to hurt me. That is true. They definitely do. Do you deserve it? Yes. He doesn't want to sit down and be blamed for everything, which maybe that is what needs to happen. Maybe you do need to allow them to just vent. And then once you can get to a place where you can be there to have conversations, mutual conversations, that's a start. You are their parent. Sometimes, and I get it sucks, but sometimes parents just need to be blamed for things and then we can move on. As Robyn says, and I loved this. Do I believe her fully? No, because here's why I don't believe. I believe that yes, she is losing respect for Kody, or is in the process of losing respect for Kody. But I don't think it would mean or do anything because she's submissive to him. It is what it is. She's loyal to him. She's not gonna leave him due to her disrespect of him, But she says she's losing respect for him. And he keeps saying it's because he didn't, fall madly in love with their mothers. It's not about that. Like, God. Um, but you noticed here too when she says that she's losing respect for him, his mannerisms, his how he treats this changed. Did anyone else notice that? He's like, oh, 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 well, let me fix it because you're losing respect for me. So in this case, it's not about the kids not being in your life and you really wanting to fix that. It's now about Robyn losing respect for you, so now you want to fix it. Fuck him, honestly. Um, she says to him that there are two sides to every story. You were imperfect, and they were imperfect. So, like, stop acting like you are, basically, I guess. So then we kind of cut a little bit from that conversation, and we hear from Christine, and she has met David. She's all into it. We kind of know how this ends. Let's go back to the conversation. So he says they were blaming me and you as well for what happened, which, the shoe fits. Wear that shit. So she says that you need to work it out. And he says, though he'll make an effort, but I will do that with people who are open. Okay, fine. That's a start though. Maybe that can help with establishing and fixing relationships with the rest of the kids, because in this episode they did kind of flashback and talk about how involved he was with his kids. Yes, he definitely was. That is very true. But I do really think, and I've never thought that he wasn't a good father to his kids. But what I will say here is I always was of the belief that once they became adults, once they had voices for themselves, he doesn't know how to handle that. He doesn't know how to handle adult children. He just doesn't know how to deal with that. He knows how to deal with children who are minor or children who are quote unquote loyal, like Robyn's kids. So she says, can you make a little more effort, to communicate? She says divorce is hard and they got caught up and she says they need you. And he says, they can have me. Just, call me or pick up the phone when I call. Okay, so I'm happy he said that, because when he said call me, I'm like, oh, it's all up to them. And then he said, or pick up when I call. I'm like, okay. And he says they blame their dad, for kind of how things happened. And he's like, I gave up. I admit that I gave up. Okay, that's great. I see progress. And he says, but they don't argue for this. They don't just blame me. I think I can't remember what he said there, but he says he needs to figure out everything. He says, can I figure this out without you losing respect for me? And that's when I said, oh, so it's all about Robyn. Okay. And Robyn says that she says that the reason that she fell in love with him was how good he was with the kids. That, which, okay, I believe her to an extent. And she says, or he says, all right, I went through 3 divorces in like a space of 1 to 2 years. He's like, I'm not looking for pity, just looking for understanding. Excuse me, sir. I have a question. 3? Because I thought you were married to marry anyways for the past like 10 years in your mind. So 3? 3? Are you sure? He uses it when it suits him, basically. Anyway, he says, or she says, they are hurting. Don't you understand that? No, he doesn't, because the only hurt he can understand is his own. He doesn't understand anyone else's hurt. And this is where he's just going to have some time with this, without you losing respect for me. He's like, no, but what did I do though? What did I really do that caused this? Well, guess what, y'all? He says the 2 major things that he did that created, I think, everything, the fall of what their family was. So he says COVID or she says COVID, I think. And they, as we know, were a lot, right, with how they handled it. And he acknowledges that, maybe kicking the boys out was the wrong thing to do. And I'm like, oh my God, is he admitting that how he handled it was Gabe and Garrison, correct? How he handled that? Is he acknowledging that he did it incorrect? Wow. I was in shock. I was in shock, y'all, when he said that. But imagine how much more shock I was in when he said this. And then, with Isabel's surgery, yeah, I think I probably should have been there. Oh my God. I'm like, who are you? Kody Brown, who are you? Because yes, that is the beginning of the end, was those two things. And how COVID was scary for everybody. Understood. We're hearing people that are dying, everything like that. There's this thing that we can't deal with. We're being told we have to isolate, be 6 feet apart. I understand this. Yes, COVID was a scary thing, but you allowed COVID to do what COVID was doing to a lot of people. You made this break up your family. Yes, Kody. Fucking finally. I'm, wow. I'm in shock that he finally realized, or at least maybe he always realized, was able to verbalize. I get it. I know that's part of the problem, or not the entire problem, but that was the thing that really pushed everything into what it is right now. That is absolutely incredible now. I don't think a lot has improved, because again, we're talking, this was 2 years ago now. I don't think a lot has improved. I think we're still in it, currently, present day. So it's just, but it is great to hear that he gets it, but it would have been amazing to see the action be put into place. So, and it wasn't. So anyway, it was crazy to hear him say it though. Wow. I don't know about anyone else, but I was shook. I was like, what? What? He gets it. Okay. But um he explains that he tried texting Gabe, nothing yet. Which is interesting because you don't want to say, did Gabe go to Robyn and hug her and say, I love you? Now, that doesn't mean anything. But I think maybe that just kind of goes to show that for Gabe anyways, that maybe Robyn isn't solely the problem. But that is not going to change anything with his father. Because, I mean, the thing is that they had those conversations. They did, if you remember, a million years ago, that they did have a conversation, Gabe, and I think Garrison as well, and with Kody. It didn't change anything, you know? So I don't know. We are going to hear from Gabe in the next episode. So, um, he says, I know I don't get, or sorry, it's like, I know I don't try enough. Um, but I also don't want to get triggered. So he's trying to basically explain, which I do understand that as well, that he doesn't want to be in a triggered state trying to mend relationships with his kids, which I totally understand. But I think if you were to better explain that to them initially, then maybe they can handle that a little better. Because yes, divorce is tough and he's going through a million of them at once. And I understand that. That can be really affecting your mental health. And I get that. But you don't get past, you don't get to not be a father. Your wives, ex-wives, still are mothers. They don't get to not be mothers. So you don't get to not be a father. So, he says I am too hot-headed right now. The most truthful thing he said here, but he would rather try to work on their marriage before, you know, for it hurting them anymore. So again, at the end of the day, because he says, but you said you were losing respect for me, so we need to fix our marriage. Tip, Kody, for Robyn, at least in this moment anyways, for her, she's basically trying to tell you the way to help fix our marriage is for you to go fix the relationship with your kids, or at least try more to fix the relationship with your kids. So at the end of the day, that is the reason why a lot of your marriages ended. Not necessarily with Mary, but with Janelle and Christine anyways. That was you not going to Isabel's surgery was the end of your marriage with Christine. You kicking her kids out of the home was the end of their marriage with Janelle. That is what Robyn is basically trying to tell you right now. Go fix the relationship with your kids. That is going to help our marriage. But at the end of the day, your marriage to Robyn is more important than your relationship with your kids. I hate men. Anyway, so he says, I will make the effort, but they also have to accept the effort. That is true. That is very true. They do. It's a two-way street. But that's it for this episode. That's it for Sister Wives. For technically last week, we were getting the new episode. You're getting this before the next episode comes out, but yeah. The next episode you guys can expect to get is a below deck sailing yacht. I'm so excited to talk about this. This is my favorite iteration of the show, is sailing yacht. Maybe it's because of Glenn, my fellow Canadian. You know, he's from Montreal. It's just, we're beside each other, you know? So maybe that's it. I don't know. But I love that iteration. So that's next is Below Deck. And again, you will be getting that prior to the next episode anyways. You're going to get that in the morning on Monday. So you'll be getting that before. And that's basically it. So that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I'll read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mykelti, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.